Well, all losses are disappointing losses, but that was especially disappointing in the way that we played and coached. Hats off to Pittsburgh. They deserve to win. Questions?
Fran, what was the explanation you got for the penalty and ejection of Tua?
Letter of the law. They were saying that the helmet-to-helmet contact, they were just reciting the strict interpretation of the rule.
There's no intent factored into that?
No, none.
And what was did you get an explanation from your defense when they didn't attempt to recover the fumble?
I did not, after I was obviously talking to them about why they didn't. It was just a lapse, bunch of inexperienced guys out there not seeing that they should have been on the ball.
The two Tommy interceptions, what went wrong on those throws?
Poor execution.
Do you think the wing maybe played a factor at all?
No, not at all.
Ryan, when you look at what you're disappointed about, where do you start fresh off the game? What stands out for you mostly?
Well, the execution on offense was awful. Defensively, we kept drives alive with a pass interference penalty, personal foul. We weren't alert enough to get on a ball on a fumble. And we gave up an explosive play in the passing game. And we didn't coach well enough. I mean, it's on everybody. I mean, to single out one thing, it was in a large degree, though, the execution was very poor.
Coach, what have you liked of Ben Koyak over the last month or so?
He's just been emerging and maturing, and he was a talented young man that it's been taking some time, but he's gotten his confidence, and certainly has shown that he can be a big asset.
Brian, how do you approach the bye with so many injuries, and then does it change with the loss, how you approach the open week heading into the last two?
Probably not. I mean, I'll evaluate it a little bit further over the next day or two, but we'll go in Monday and put this behind us. And from a film standpoint, we won't put this behind us from an evaluation standpoint, but we'll put it behind us in terms of the game itself. We'll weight train on Tuesday, and then I'll kind of make my decision as to how we move forward the rest of the week.
How did you feel like Lewis held up tonight?
I thought he battled. He was nicked up, he was banged, he was sore. He's a competitive kid. He gave us everything he had. Played a lot of football. And certainly, when we lost Stefan early, we were, it was pretty clear we were a little undermanned inside.
Did you feel like the way you've seen your team prepare and go about its work, that performances like tonight were kind of a thing of the past?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've won a lot of games over the last couple of years. I mean, I've been preparing my football teams now for 23 years. So, there won't be any changes relative to how we prepare. I mean, it's execution, right? It's playing the game and coaching the game. And we didn't do a very good job. Everybody, players and coaches, we did not do a very good job today.
Tarian's been coming on of late, and tonight, I don't know what he finished with, 4 carries maybe. Was that just a flow of the game where you couldn't get everybody involved as far as the different backs?
Yeah, I mean, as you guys know, I mean, it changes from week to week relative to how the game is going and what's available to us. And You know, there were a couple of times where, you know, we felt like George, you know, gave us a better opportunity in there for the kind of runs. We were trying to get the ball on the perimeter. And George is a guy that we like when the game is a perimeter game. It fits George's skill set. And so that's why you saw him in the game a little bit more.
Brian, third loss probably takes some BCS stuff maybe off the table.
Sure.
Is the process of bringing those guys back start in that locker room, or is it kind of have to wait maybe this week?
I'm not really concerned about that. I think what I'm most concerned about is the inability to put together, you know, a consistent effort tonight in November, right? You know, 10 games into the season. You know, there's really, for me, no reason why, and I take full responsibility for it as the head coach, that there's no reason why we don't execute at the level that we should in November, and that didn't happen tonight.
Was the lack of execution the thing that just happened tonight, or was there signs of it leading up in the week, leading up to the game?
No. I mean, you saw what happened, you know. You know, 2 interceptions, a fumble, big play pass, missed tackle, fundamentals of the game of football. No big picture things, not really, you know, big heady stuff, you know. These are just fundamentals of the game of football that were not attended to in a manner that they needed to be. And, you know, that's, you know, our mantra is you can't start winning until you stop losing. And we did things tonight that caused losing.
Last year, you guys were so strong on the goal line defense and stopping the people there, and this year it's not been as successful. Is that simply the injuries stacking up, or what?
Got different players, just different personnel. You know, you had some different players on the field, especially inside out. You know, looking at the defense, you know, you had some different players. You know, and not to take anything away from the guys that are out there battling, but it's a different team with different players.
Right, with all the injuries, do you get a sense that guys were just trying to hold on to get to the bye as opposed to aggressively going for it, going into the bye?
You know, I mean, look, we gave them a touchdown, and I think defensively, you know, we miss a tackle. And then I think it just comes down to if you look at it objectively, we didn't play well offensively. I mean, if we execute the way we're supposed to execute offensively, I think that's a moot point, really. You know, I don't think there was anybody looking to the bye week as much as we executed poorly on offense. And we need to make a tackle. We need to be a little bit more disciplined on defense and not have we had a 4th down PI. We had a personal foul penalty. And, you know, if you take some of those things away, I mean, it's going to come back to poor execution.
Brian, especially after
Couple
two
more.
went out, just how much of a scramble was it to get guys in there on the defensive line and figure out some different combinations?
Well, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. We knew who they were. But we were, you know, those were concerns. Look, Stephon Tuitt not playing in the game, that's not why we lost this football game. You know, that is not why we lost this game. It had nothing to do with this loss tonight. So that's a question, and that whole rule, that's a time and place that can be handled. This really was about our football team going on the road and executing poorly on offense and not being good enough when they needed to be on defense. And coaches are responsible for getting their players to execute. That's why we're hired. That's what we do. And we didn't get that from our players tonight. So I'm responsible for that. And that didn't happen tonight.